Okay, welcome back to the final part of this video where we're going to use shared preferences to keep track of the value as the application gets closed and reopened. Shared preferences, as you could guess, is actually used to keep track of the preferences within an application so it doesn't get destroyed as you open and close the app. It kind of keeps track of those values. But we can use it here. So what we're going to do is set a variable of store and assign shared preferences to this, and we're going to assign, or we're going to get the shared preferences object, and we'll give this a name of store, and then we're going to pass in context mode of private. Now what we're actually going to run into here is if we were to try and run the application at this point, the application would actually crash, and that's because the application isn't aware of context at this particular point of the application running. And we actually need to assign the get shared preferences within the onCreate method. So what we'll do is we'll actually move this out of this section here, and we'll move that down into the onCreate method, and we'll assign null to the store value. So let's just update the store to equal get shared preferences, and you can see here that we've actually already run into another issue that null can't be assigned to the shared preferences or the store variable. We can correct that by just putting a question mark. So that actually means that null is actually allowed even when normally it's not. Now the next part we need to do is check within our key value store to see if we've already assigned a value to count within the store. So we're going to have the variable count within our class, and then we're going to assign a count key within our store, and we want to check that store to see if the count value exists. So we can do that with an if statement to check store.contains a key of count. If that count does exist, we can then go ahead and actually update our count value to the current value within the store, assign that to our variable, and then we can actually update the UI with the value that we've currently got saved. So we can do that through store.getInt, because we're storing an integer within the shared preferences, and we'll get int of count. Now we're running into another issue here where both our stores are complaining that they're potentially assigned null. So we can actually correct that by using 2 exclamation marks at the end of store to just say, hey, we've done the checks ourselves. We can guarantee that this won't be null at this point because we've actually assigned store to get shared preferences above. We just also need to put in an equals to make sure that we're assigning the store.getInt to the count value. Once we've done that, we then want to actually update the UI with the current value. We're just going to put in a default of 0. Then we'll assign or we'll update the UI of value.text to the current count value, and just pass that through as a string by using the double quotes plus count. Next we want to update our add method. By every time we increment, we want to assign or add our current count value. So we'll do that with store double exclamation marks dot edit, because we're actually going to edit the store, and we're going to put in an int, put int, to assign count to the value of the current count, and then we need to apply that value. We also want to do the same within our minus, so we'll just put that within the if statement, and that just means that once we do the add and the minus, our count value will be updated. The reset's slightly different, because what we'll do is we'll do the store double exclamation marks, we'll edit again, and we actually here we want to remove the count key so that when the onCreate's called, the count doesn't exist, and we'll do dot apply. Then we'll run the application to see how this performs, And here we can see that we can still add, we can subtract. And then if we just add and close our application, we can see that the values still maintained in here. And that's it, that's everything done. So till the next time, have a good one. Bye.